Yeah. What's up?
Not much. We're at, what was it there? We tell people where right now. We're at Mall of America.
Yeah.
And it's always... the age for the mall is dying, seems like.
Yeah, but this place is...
It's not, though. That's one thing.
Well, because they made it a destination. Like, that's the thing. The malls used to be destinations, like, all the time.
Yep.
Malls were always a destination. And, like, didn't matter how small your mall was, it was like it was the town square.
Correct.
Right? It was like everybody went there and saw each other and did stuff, and it was kind of your community place. And, that sort of died off because now your town square is in your phone.
Yep. Like, growing up for me, like, our mall was that big opening in the middle. They always, Christmas time, they brought reindeers in.
Yeah.
But they had a petting zoo throughout the summer and spring. All these theme things in the middle. All the stuff. They knocked it down. Like, they rebuilt it up to this mega conglomerate. COVID hit, and then all of a sudden stores are leaving. But here it feels like you can go miniature golfing, laser tag, movie theater.
I almost hit you up to go mini golf yesterday.
Last time we did that, we played that here.
Oh, you did? I don't ever do anything on days off, man. I didn't know that.
It was actually me, Barry, Hoogie, and Steve Hupwitz. Steve won.
Yeah, of course. What is it? Professional.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to see, like, the people still want that. They still want that sense of community. I think that if, if you, sorry, now that I'm thinking about it in real time, it's like malls didn't do themselves any favor. Like the mall that I went to as a kid, which now is just as a Target that people go to.
Correct.
The other part of it is the Sears from the Righteous Gemstones. Like the literal when they have the church in the Sears, it's literally the Sears at the mall that I used to go to. Like that's literally, they wrote that into the story. Like, it's like, the outside of the mall that says Gemstones Spiritual Center or whatever on the outside of it. But like, they never updated anything, man. It was just like, it just stayed 80s, 80s and 90s. And the thing about this place is it's kind of fucking roller coaster, for God's sakes. You got roller coasters, amusement park in the middle of
Nickelodeon, tag, a haunted house.
I mean, and it is a destination for people. Like, people will travel here for vacation, but it is a testament to the fact that people, like, there's something about, like, I enjoy being around other people when I'm shopping.
Especially like Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like
the vibe about the elves and stuff. We used to have the mechanical elves and stuff. Like, they would,
And then when COVID hit, like, when the malls were so empty, the stores were empty, there was like a sense of like humanity lost.
Yeah.
It was super bizarre.
Yeah. COVID was the biggest social experiment ever.
So me and Barry walk around, we did stage clothes and stuff, and we're kind of laughing because people are they just stop in the middle of the walking.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's a whole other discussion, but the amount of people from different cultures and walks of life that are here, and then all the energy they bring. Then we're even further, it's like, how many murderers have walked through here currently, or evil people,
sure,
and then left their energy here just kind of floating around.
Yeah. And that's everywhere. But yeah, dude, I mean, well, this is, you're talking thousands of people on a daily, for sure. Daily. Sometimes tens of thousands of people in here, for sure. This is a big mall. So when you guys are doing booze, brews, and barbecues, have you found, like, is that like a thing where, like, because, I don't really ever think about that, like, where an energy gets left in the room from someone, like, is that?
Yeah, like, so what the odd thing about all the haunted places we've had, we've got some great stuff. We've got some great stuff with John Fred at this old Civil War hospital museum place. And some places have unique stories where they've had people commit suicide, or there's been Civil War battles and stuff. But we've noticed the Airbnbs we've stayed in have been the most crazy, interesting spirit box experiences ever.
And those are places that aren't supposed to be...
No, we're not even actively... I mean, Airbnb or VBRO has a thing where you can look for places that are haunted or have historical significance. But we just find places that all day enough are across from an old cemetery or an old part of town. And the last thing we were at, we just did an event all day. We were flying out early in the morning. We just plug in the spirit box and some of the tools to kind of like capture B-reel and stuff. And we're all tired. I mean, did the event all day. We're just tired. And I go, hey, like, we're going to leave here. Like, this place is haunted. And I start chirping on it. almost clear as day, this voice comes across Spirit Box saying, evil. And we all both step up. We start asking personal questions. This thing starts listing Ty's kids' names, wife, knew Barry's daughter's name, knew his wife's name. It starts getting super personal.
Wow.
But everything clear as day. But it wasn't planned because we're like, we got some stuff at this old consignment shop that had a murder that killed himself because the guy was dying of cancer. And we do all that. So it's just like, to your point, we go to these Airbnbs, again, you don't know who's ever stayed in these Airbnbs.
Yeah.
They can be great people, bad people, but energy gets left behind. None of these places get cleansed.
Yeah. Well, so if you think about it, or if I'm thinking about it right now in real time, like, in science, energy can neither be created or destroyed.
Correct.
Right. It's just energy gets transferred. And so you talk about like someone's energy, like if you had walked in the room just now and you were angsty or pissed off, I'd be able to feel that energy. Like I'd be able to tell. Like, and I mean, okay,
we also know each other though too.
Is that energy or is that just instinct? I don't know. But let's just for argument's sake say it's energy. Like I can sense your energy. Well, but even people I don't know, like I'm an empath, right? Like I always have been. Like I'm super tuned into what people are. I'm kind of a people pleaser type of person, and I'm plugged into people's emotions and what the energy they're giving off at all times. So much so that I think we talked about this on another episode. Maybe we didn't. We're talking about the guy that was doing the yard work, and I could tell like that. Yes. The guy, and I could see him walking across the yard, and I knew within 2 seconds because of the way he was carrying himself and his energy that like that dude's not going to work out.
Correct. Well, I saw it firsthand how he didn't work.
but I mean, that's a weird example. Yeah. But I mean, I could tell his energy from 100 yards away through a window pane. I could be like, that dude is carrying himself in a way that like, So anyway. But so if energy can't be created or destroyed, that when you give off an energy, it's potentially getting left in the space that you are.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to dissipate.
Right. But if you come into a room, say you're having a bed, maybe you wake up one day, you're home, and you're having one of your days.
Yep.
Maybe not going to the studio is the best part because it's attached to work and trying to the stress of that. But if you see your dog at the yard playing or you're on your boat, you might be in a bad mood, but as soon as you get that other location, that goes away. It's like you're not really destroying energy, but that happy place.
Well, you can shift energy, like yourself.
Yeah,
like you can shift energy, like But yeah, so hypothetically, if there was an axe murderer that stayed in this room, and like was plotting something in this room,
currently,
like right now, as we do, they could be leaving a trace of themselves. So when you use the spirit box, I'm intrigued by the spirit box because it's like it does like you can't pre-program it to do things and say things and whatever.
Correct.
Do you ever have it do like different languages though? Like 'cause it's not always English, right?
It's not always English, and we're talking about doing stuff next year, like Prague, UK, Ireland. I mean, they all speak English there, but like we want to see if we go to a location, say it's like. Say the show pops off, we're going to Egypt. We're going to want a translator there with us because you want to know what it's saying in a different language. Or if we stay near like a Hebrew cemetery, we're doing stuff in there. We thought about, while we're not hearing English words, what if this old Hebrew cemetery is saying something in Yiddish or something, or that it's talking to us, but we think it's jarbled.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah,
we talked to Drew about that because basically the spirit box works like a reverse guitar pedal. And so he can actually talk Barry and I through the last run, the warm-up room, just like how it works, the mechanics of it.
Okay.
He's actually going to build us a unique one, using the reverse technology for the guitar pedal. Yeah, so it's like super interesting, like, because we always try and like learn in real time, like, there's a science behind, there's a lot of stuff you can't explain, but a lot of times, as you know, gear, audio, video, the stuff can get like, you can trigger stuff with energy and stuff.
Right, I wonder. Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot here. I'm thinking about this in real time, so if this sounds ridiculous, but like Drew's talking about building you. So like what? Is he? So you're talking about reversing it. So is he going to build something where when you guys speak into it, it sends out the same signal that you're picking up?
Correct.
So it's kind of like sending out the same frequency.
Correct.
So instead of just being in the room trying to communicate,
Correct.
like you're literally communicating back through
Correct.
a device.
Correct.
So what kind of signal is that picking up? Is it just RF stuff? Is it electromagnetic?
Yeah, the one primary one we use is basically it goes through all FM, AM.
Okay.
It kind of goes through whatever. So it's scanning stuff in real time. So sometimes when you're tuning it, you can hear like a radio, like usually a radio voice, right? Just talking or
radio
whatever.
station, yeah.
But the interesting thing is like, so sometimes you'll hear words, you'll hear rock, or you'll hear like people talking on late night talk shows. Yeah. But it's when you ask it something and it says something that you wouldn't know. Like we did one in Memphis. We were in a part of town we didn't know. We talked to Zach's mom, and she's like, "You guys are a messed up part of Memphis."
Isn't that all of Memphis, though?
Yeah, I mean the whole place is a war zone. Let's be real here. But a ton of history. But she was like, that thing knew like Ty's real name, my middle name. It said the word Shinedown. When it asked what Barry's does, it said Shinedown drums. And so we're like, well, it's a radio station, so maybe it's just oddly, Shinedown's playing the next day, it finds that thing.
Right.
But I don't know how it was able to pick up and find those words unless it's meant to come through.
Huh. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. You know, it's there's so much we don't know, man. We talked about this on here before, but like, I wonder how much of it is paranormal, like, like actual people that have passed and that sort of thing, or how much of it is space-time blurring, and you're occupying a space. Well, we're all, if you believe the block universe theory that everything happens all at once, all the time, and there's no timeline, time doesn't move in a linear fashion. It's just everything is happening all at one time. We're just experiencing it in a line.
Yep.
Then everything in the future, everything in the past is taking place wherever you are at the time. And so, maybe that's someone in the future that knew that you all had been there and...
Correct. Like parallel universe stuff.
Right, like in the timeline in the future, but in the present, I've talked about that story, that kid that and I wish I could recount the story better. But it's actually the actual person telling the story. It's not just a hearsay story, but this kid that was when he was 5 years old, was home alone, or 6 years old, he standing in the kitchen, and all of a sudden this figure in a dark hoodie walks into the kitchen and opens up the refrigerator, and he's freaking out, and he calls his mom. Mom's in the house, but this thing just disappears.
Yeah.
And then, that stuck with him forever and ever, until one day when he was like 18 years old, he's in a dark hoodie. He walks into the kitchen, opens the refrigerator, and he's like, holy shit.
Yep.
That was me walking in. It's like you get these timelines to get when things mesh together. Right. It's like you go to Gettysburg and you see you see the figures walking across the battlefield. Like that could literally, instead of just being ghosts, dead people, that could literally be the actual event taking place that you're seeing in a when space time is sort of blurring itself. And have you guys thought about doing like getting an actual RF scanner that picks up like all of the electromagnetic frequencies and or a frequency scanner, basically, like what they use on Skinwalker, where they're finding that this is, to me, this is the most fascinating part of Skinwalker Ranch. If you kept up with that show, and I haven't watched the last.
We have a day out before. I'm trying to get us to go there.
I'd love that. I haven't watched the last 3 episodes because we've been out here. I'm not caught up on it, and the Beyond Skinwalker with Andrew Bustamante. Is that right before weird things start happening, these frequencies show up, like 1.6 gigahertz frequency. Something's broadcasting a 1.6 gigahertz frequency, or a 1.2 gigahertz, or 1.5 gigahertz, but like in that realm in that part of the spectrum, and so the 1.6 gigahertz starts to spike, and then orbs show up, or craft show up, or unusual things happen. The most interesting thing for me was when they did an episode with Chris Bledsoe and his daughter, and that on the Beyond Skinwalker show, and they were, as Chris Bledsoe does, and his daughter has it too, where they can, like, because she's experienced it since she was a kid, like they put themselves in, and they did brainwave studies on them and everything. They put themselves into a state, and these orbs start showing up. They start bringing these orbs. That when that happened, they also have a directional scanner, and they scanned it over, and the 1.6 gigahertz frequency was coming from them. So whatever they don't know that they're perhaps this is all perhaps, because it was. But the data was there where they would scan over it. As soon as they point the scanner toward Chris and his daughter, it would spike. That's where the signal is coming from them. Okay. Well, these are you and I wouldn't think about, well, I'm going to give off 1.6 gigahertz frequency, but they obviously were, unbeknownst to them, that's what's happening. Maybe when they open themselves up there. So it's interesting that these craft and orb and odd things show up in that, when something is giving off that frequency, whether it's the entities that are showing up, the craft, the orbs, the spirits, whatever they are, or the people who are wanting to see them. Maybe we do that. Maybe when we're wanting to see something, maybe we are giving off that frequency or close, or maybe only people who can get into that frequency range are the ones that are actually able to summon them. Because it'd be interesting with what you all are doing to get.
We have an apparatus to
get a spectral analyzer like that.
Will spike. They will be like, okay, we'll do the first investigation here.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, keeping something like that running in the background, and you can correlate the time, or hey, we heard this voice, but maybe you're going to get a spike of frequency like that. It's interesting, man. That Nikola Tesla said that back in the early 1900s, and late 1800s, that everything is vibration. And it sounds so woo-woo to say that, but he was like, the sooner that he's like, I've discovered that the entire universe is nothing but vibrations, and that's what our frequencies are, vibrations.
Right.
And he was going to give wireless power to the world because he had figured out how to do that. Unfortunately, he got stymied because the people that were greedy and wanted to make money took all of his patents.
Yeah, killed him.
Yeah, and probably killed him, and then took all of his papers after he was dead. But that plays into that. I would just be interested, man, if when you guys are doing this to
remember growing up when people would be like, oh, the witching hour, 2 to 3. Mm-hmm. So there's been times we've done I don't even I'm trying to understand what that means, why that time frame or whatever has a lot of stuff happen. But there's been a time when we split groups. This one time it was me, Barry, John, Fred, and then it was Dave Spinks, Ty, the host, the owner of the museum, and other people in another room. And in real time, we're dealing with something in the barn, they're inside the house, but it happens all within 15 minutes right after a lightning strike. And so lightning, obviously, in storms bring energy and stuff. Yeah. But it was just interesting that all of a sudden, after that ends, all the energy goes. And then nothing happens the rest of the night. So it is, I don't know, it's...
Well, if you think about, electromagnetism, man, again, it goes back to that's one of the primary forces in our world.
Right.
Like gravity, electromagnetism, weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force. But electromagnetism, when lightning strikes, that is disturbing and perturbing all of that. And then you go back to those frequencies that and I'm giving it correlation. I'm not saying there's correlation between what they're, the frequency spectrum, but that's part of that as well.
Right.
And if that is part of it, if when a spirit or an energy is trying to, speak to you all, or trying to come through, or you're perturbing the area to try to get them, you're probably, and I'm saying probably, you're probably perturbing those things that, those frequencies, so those things can come through. And then if there's lightning strike, that's interesting, because that is literally, perturbing the air and perturbing the space-time around it.
Now, I wonder, if we're talking about energy and stuff like that, when you guys go on stage, now I assume, at least for me, when you guys come on stage, oh, that was a great show. You guys were playing great. Crowd energy was great. But sometimes when you guys are playing great, but the crowd energy is off, or vice versa. Yeah. I think that must be tough to kind of get the right headspace.
Yeah, I'm the world's worst at it. I'm the world's worst at everything is energy for me up there.
Right.
Everything is vibe and energy, and what I'm thinking about myself.
Right.
First and foremost, if I go on stage and I'm feeling insecure, not not powerful, and that sounds weird,
Right.
but like when you get up on stage in front of thousands of people, you have to, the switch has to go off, and you can't just be whatever this is right now. You have to kind of graduate to a higher plane of thinking and presenting yourself, I guess is a better way of putting it. But sometimes, man, no matter how hard I try, I can't get there. Like I got too much baggage. I'm thinking about like my insecurities too much, and this might sound ridiculous to somebody that doesn't understand it, but like, but you'll never see it. Occasionally, maybe you'll see it on my face. I'm always going to act my way through it if it's not happening. But it's very difficult to get into like a flow state when your thoughts are like, what's wrong with me tonight? Like these people aren't like reacting to anything I'm doing. We had a crowd like that recently, where it was like, man, that would be the Guinness World Record for the largest nap ever taken by the most amount of people in a room. Right. And they weren't napping. I mean, they were having a good time at the concert. But like,
paid to go to the show.
But the energy just wasn't like.
Well, some rooms too. Go back to what we said. Had that lack of energy already.
Yeah.
Like a dead room filled with thousands of people, but it still feels like ugh.
Yeah. It's very. The thing is, man, is there's no, like there will be a time when we were in that same room 2 years prior, and it was electric,
right?
And then you're just waiting on it. Man, this is always such a great room. It's always such a great vibe. And maybe I'm putting that out there, like I'm expecting too much, right? But when you get out there and it's like, it's like it hurts, man. It's like, oh man, what are we doing wrong?
Right. But I wonder if like 12,000 people on a Tuesday night is it get off better or worse?
It doesn't. I found
Friday, Saturday night.
I found that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like it can be a Wednesday night, and it can be the most insane crowd and the most fun, and it can be a Saturday night and just nothing, man. And I did it recently, that crowd I was talking about, where like in my brain, and this is all energy again. In my brain, I turned on the crowd. I was like, you know what? I've been up here for the last, we're probably halfway through the show at this point. I've been up here for 12 songs, and I'm just giving everything I got. And every song, at the end of every song, I'm like, all right, new show. Let's start over again. I start trying to turn my brain around, turn my thinking around. And it would just be the same thing. And I'm like giving everything, and I look out there and it's just people mouth breathing. They're just like, There are two people, I know what you're talking about, on your side, on the rail. And they're always on the rail.
But they're just like, no, I don't know if they're there because they are more Way fans and Bush fans.
For sure.
You have to, if I'm on the rail, I'm fighting to get to that rail.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to stand there and just be like, you guys are at the B stage. Probably your most humble moments.
Yeah.
It's very off the cuff.
Yeah.
And they're just like.
And I believe me, man, I've gone to concerts where I've just watched. So I've been guilty of this.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. I'm not blaming them for anything. It's just when I'm giving energy, it's nice to like have a crowd where you get the energy back in return. And I in my brain, man, I turned on the crowd. I turned on the crowd. I was like, well, F you people.
Yeah.
Now I'm just up here for me, at this point. Like, I don't know what else.
When you have one of the shows based on how you throw the set lists.
Yeah.
That show, I was like, oh yeah, these set lists aren't going very far, or there's not going to be a lot of drama behind these.
Yeah, I just, I throw the set list out at the end of the night. If I get, like, especially on this tour, because this tour, sometimes we're sticking around and signing for a second. Like, we'll jump down and sign for people around the barricade. But, like, some nights I just don't, like, this one of the nights I didn't feel like it. I'm like, man, you know what? I need to try again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I always love giving extra, man. Like I really enjoy that. Like, especially people aren't expecting it. Of course, now maybe they are, but like, you get done with your show and like jump down the barricade, sign best you can, and take pictures with people. Like, it's hard to that point. It's hard to establish ground rules with that, because like right now it's like. There are no signs you can put up that say Shinedown's going to come sign around. They will only sign these items and blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
But like everybody's putting their arms out. I want you to sign their arms. And it's just like, man, like that's taking forever because now I'm signing everybody's stuff.
And think about the energy you get too.
I'm just trying to high five some people, sign some,
Yeah,
have a poster, if they have a CD, if they have a shoe or something, I'll sign it.
Cell phone cases.
Yeah, that's fine. But like when everybody's like putting their arm out to sign it, it's just like, man, I can't get, because we only have a certain amount of time.
Correct.
We have like what, like
trying to load out
8 minutes or something till I get around. And I'd love to go around the whole thing, you know. But
of course.
Maybe we got to be more tactful about that. Maybe it ought to be like Zach on this side, me on this side, Barry in the middle or something. And
honestly, you're better off all going down at the same time. We push all in the same direction.
You think?
I do.
We're giving away logistical secrets right now.
Because I could just be back, hey, we got to go.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, so energy is like, it's in our business, man, it's a real thing. It's a real thing in the studio, man. Like if Brent and I aren't feeling it, and you can turn it around.
Right.
But like.
Now, is it better off when you guys have one of those days where you're firing on cylinders, you're probably going to want to be there all day.
Yeah.
But if you're having one of those days where you want to be there, is it counterproductive just sitting around in the studio and not doing anything, or is it best to step away?
Depends on the day.
Or do you have to put that time in for those bad days to get to where you have to go?
Depends. Some days you push through and you find something.
Right.
You know, if you just, nothing's happening, and then you pick up a guitar and you play something and somebody starts singing something, and, you know, and then there are other days where it's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow, you know?
But you guys, obviously working at Shinedown, the longevity of career, the number of hits, great songs. When you think of the bands that probably have 3 or 4 of those bad days in a row, then lose their will to like push through it.
That can happen. For sure. I mean, I've done that.
How many great bands only put out 2 albums, and after that, they're just like,
Yeah, I mean, or one great album and then a second one that's not great. I'll tell you something, man. The problem with albums right now, this is just my opinion. This goes for our albums too. Like the amount of work it takes to do it is. So the trope used to be that. You have your whole career to make your first record, your whole life to make your first record, and then 6 months to make your second record. And that's why most second records, not all, most second records aren't that great, because you're under a time crunch. Everybody's on, the label's on you. Everybody's like, we got to hurry. If you have a hit out of the gate, your first record's a hit. Then the second record, you've got a limited amount of time to wrangle it and get it done. And now, with the state of the music business being that no one buys records, and the only way that you really make money, not even really make money, the only way you make money is to go on tour and sell T-shirts.
Yeah.
Everyone is always making their second record. Doesn't matter if it's your 8th record, your first record, your 8th record, your 3rd record, your second record. You know, you're making your second record at all time. You're constantly under the gun to hurry up and get the thing done so you can go back out and not starve to death. That's a huge problem with record making now, is that it used to be that, like, okay, I can sell these records, I can sell my wares, I can create something of value, and people will purchase it, and that will offset the time that I'm spending making it. And then if I would like to go out and perform this stuff, which we do, we can go out and perform it, but there's no pressure to get out and perform. Now, the only way for you to make money is to perform. So you're making this thing, you're making this album that you love, this music, but it is worth less. I'm not saying it's worthless, but it is worth less than ever. And, you know, it's not going to sustain you. So you have to hurry up, make a record when you don't want to make one. That's the other thing, man. Like, I don't want to make a record right now. Like, I am not. And Brent and I talked about this. I'm not saying anything that he doesn't know. I'm not feeling creative right now. I'm not in a place where I don't feel like I'm going to do my best work because I'm tired. I don't have it right now. I don't have the creative vision. I'm at a point where, like, normally a normal artist would take a break and get inspired and then come back and make something.
Right.
I don't have the luxury of becoming inspired, and neither does any other musician out there. If you happen to catch it in a time when you are inspired,
right,
that's just a plus at this point. We're in a place where we have to make records whether or not we want to, whether or not we're in the mood to, whether or not we, you know, whether or not we're inspired. And that equals, and that can lead to, now, I would like to think that I'm a good enough producer and writer, and that our band is good enough that even though I'm not inspired, we're still going to put something great out, because I'm not going to let myself put out something that I think is terrible. But is it harder to do? Yeah, man, it's much harder to do. Can it be uninspired? Yes, it can be uninspired. I'm not saying the listener will hear it as uninspired.
Right.
But internally, it can be uninspired. As a creator, I'd much rather create when I feel like creating and I feel like, wow, I'm doing my best work. We don't have that luxury anymore, because everyone is always making their second record. We're always under the gun, and you know, dance for your fucking dinner, kid, all the time. And so that contributes to why, like, people, you know, this record sucks and this band didn't put out, it's not their best work, and this is, you know, their last record was better, and I liked them better when they were fat drug addicts, and all this other, you know, whatever. All these opinions that you get about your music. It's like, you know, look, I would love to give everyone the best record of my career every fucking time, and I feel like that if we were in a different climate where greed hadn't taken over our industry, corporate greed hadn't taken over our industry, it's like it's taken over every industry.
Yep.
That musicians could make inspired music again, and you know, but that's just not the case. That's not the world we live in now. So next time that you bitch about the record that you're, and I'm saying this too because we just put a single out, like I've seen a lot of comments, and I don't comment back on people, but a lot of people making comments about, a lot of people love the song Killing Fields, but a lot of people are like, this is the wrong direction, and blah 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 blah. Next time you fucking make a comment like that, just realize that sometimes we're making music in an environment like the same environment that those days that you go to work, you don't want to fucking be at work.
Correct.
But you got to be there anyway.
Correct.
That's kind of like, not all the time, but a lot of the time nowadays, musicians are making music under those circumstances. Right. Of like, fuck, man, I just don't have it. I don't want it, but fuck, man, I gotta do it anyway, because we got to go back out on tour, because it's not just me, and it's not just Zach, and it's not just Barry, it's not just Brent. It's you and Ed and our entire crew that we have to keep employed.
I never looked at it that way.
Like we worry about, like, we have a whole crew of people that we have that are relying on us to hurry up and make this fucking thing. And so, you know, man, it's
you bring up a good point. Like when people work, most people work a traditional 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They have great days, bad days. Where you guys, the optics of people like, oh, they're in a band, they just travel the world, do whatever they want. But it's like your work day is sometimes 9 in the morning, 12-hour, like 24-hour days sometimes in the studio. Mm-hmm. And then you have to go out and do your thing, the physical aspect of it. So it is very interesting how that type of...
Like we can't, like I can't, I'm saying, this is me, I say we. This is my experience right now. It's like I can't settle into making a record right now.
Right.
Because we have to go out and tour so we can sustain ourselves, so we can afford to make a record.
Correct.
You know, and so it's like, I'd love to settle in and just make the record like a normal band would, and take however much time it takes to write. You know, there was a time we used to talk about it, like Sound of Madness time, you know, Attention time, Amaryllis, like that. We'd write 35 songs, 40 songs, and then pick the 10 best. We don't have time to write 35 or 40 songs anymore.
Right.
Not if we want to put anything new out. We can't just tour forever.
Correct.
So it's like, you have to time everything. And it's like, yeah, man, like I'd love to write 35 or 40 songs, but we got to fucking get this record out.
Right.
Because the whole climate has shifted. And I make nothing off of the music. Zero. Like it's just, it makes me feel good to put something out. You know? And the record labels make money. And the streaming services make money. That's it. You know? And of course they're going to be like, hey, when do we get our record? Hey, when do we get our record? You know, and it's like,
get close.
Yeah, I just want to fucking strangle all of them.
It'd be awesome. But I know something too, when it comes to your solo album, you're doing a lot more creative stuff in terms of like, you guys do the Shinedown unboxing stuff well, but when you do the breakdowns of like your reels you put out for each song, that's something I wish Shinedown did too. Because you're able to be more personable and actually get really into nuances in 60 seconds
Yeah.
about a specific song. It seems like you have fun doing that because
it's easy. It's easy
for you too, though.
Yeah, it's easier for me to do that because the interesting thing about writing songs, this is a pet peeve of mine, I guess. I'm airing grievances. They're not airing grievances, but like there are no grievances with this. But like when Brent and I write a song, or Brent and Dave and I write a song, or Brent and Zach and I write a song, or whatever the combination of people is, Zach and Dave and Brent, like I can speak for myself that like I know what the song was written about. I was there. I was in the room. I know what we were writing.
Right.
Sometimes when it comes time to deliver the statement on the song, it gets shifted and changed into something it was never about.
Right.
And so for me, it's like if I'm gonna talk about a song that I wrote, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was about and exactly what my headspace was, and exactly what was going on. And I'm not the spokesperson for Shinedown when it comes to the songs.
Right.
I write the songs. I'm involved in the lyrics. I write a lot of the lyrics, actually. I write a lot of the music. Brent writes a lot of the music and a lot of the lyrics. But I'm not allowed to. I don't speak on behalf of Shinedown when it comes to talking about the song. So, maybe that's why we don't do stuff like that. I don't know. But
there's some songs, whether it's Dance Can Dance or Killing Fields, which I know what they're written.
Right. Yeah.
Written about. That where some people that aren't in tune with who you guys are, it's open for interpretation.
Well, that was the thing about Killing Fields. Sorry, I cut you off.
Right.
You were going.
But I was going to when you hear 365. Most of the people that follow you guys know your dad passed away, your aunt, your sister-in-law, Brent's granny. Yeah. People like that in your lives have died, Doug Keane. Yeah. So you know what that song's about. Right. You also have the visual interpretation. But that song, if you don't know what that song is about, I mean, that's probably a you person.
Yeah, that song's pretty laid out. Like, you know what it's about. It's not like Killing Fields can be open.
You can't interpret that a different way.
Yeah, Killing Fields is more open to interpretation. And I think that Brent wanted to leave it open to people's interpretation rather than saying what it's about. I think that Brent gets tired of us being the mental health band, to be honest with you. I think he's kind of burned on that. I have a tendency to write a ton about that stuff because it's something that I deal with a lot. So it's like when we talk about how like our band writes honestly about things, I have to write honestly about where I am, right? So like, Killing Fields was born out of an idea that I had where I sat down, I have the phone, message or whatever where I recorded it, but I literally sat down with the guitar and played that beginning part and sang the lyrics, "Welcome to the Killing Fields, I don't even think you're real." And it evolved from there. And I had it's just the two of us and no one else. And not all the lyrics were realized, but those bits and pieces were there, and I knew what it was about for me. And I'm not going to give it away at this point because, as a band, we've taken a stand for it to be open to interpretation. So I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. But like, if I were to talk about the song, I'd just tell you what it's about.
Right.
And so maybe that's why, sometimes, man, with Shinedown, I feel like we're trying to be all things to all people, and you can't do that. You have to just, and we're ourselves. We're not putting anything on, man. But like, when you grow as an artist and as a band, and the band gets bigger, I don't write songs with an audience in mind, but once the songs are written, you think about the audience. You think about like, what are they going to like? What are they going to enjoy? And so.
Is it being a mental health band or being a human band that's relatable to other people?
Well, I think it's being a human band. I mean, I think Brent's just sick of writing songs with me about mental health. But I don't sit down to write songs about mental health. That's not my point. Like, I don't have a calculated thing like we have to write. But like, it's a very deep-seated thing with me. And so,
like, if you ever guys picked up a historical figure, not like Abraham Lincoln or like Martin Luther King or something like that, but like, how hard would it be if you guys were like, man, we're all fans of Odysseus or Achilles, and write a song about that where it's just so specific to a certain person or thing in history, where I wonder if, because I kind of like
you talking about just like, I've always been a fan of, I love I love art.
If you were to talk about just kicking ass,
right?
Where there's no hidden meaning, it's about being fucking stand up for yourself.
Sure.
Just fucking
Yeah, we can do that.
right.
But to me, it's like I have to feel that. Like that's the problem with writing. Like we've written a bunch of songs for this record that I don't have any sort of like emotional attachment to. I can write lyrics without being emotionally attached to something.
Right.
But I have a tendency not to really give a shit about it as much. You know, there are a couple of songs that are just like, in fact, Brent and I were talking about a song yesterday that we wrote. It was written for Planet Zero. We never did anything with it. We were talking about maybe finishing it. But the song is literally about nothing. Like as an exercise, because we were so heady and we were so like writing for that record. Well, not overthinking, but just like emotionally drained from like writing meaningful things. I mean, it takes a lot, man. You know, it's like when you're pouring yourself out writing poetry. It's like you're dumping things, right? Yeah. So when you're dumping baggage, man, it's why therapy sessions are only an hour long usually. It's a lot, you know. But we're in these 7-hour therapy sessions every day, dumping emotion out. And it was like, man, let's just write. What if we just wrote a song about absolutely nothing? Yeah. And just phrases that sounded great with each other. So we actually liked the song all right, you know. And it was that one in particular. Like I don't not feel attached to, because it's like there's something special about the chorus. Maybe isn't right, and that's what we're talking about, like changing. But the verses are actually kind of endearing. It's catchy. So I do feel this weird sense of attachment to that, even though it's about nothing, which might sound weird. But sometimes, man, writing songs like about, you know, hey, I've got this scenario that I saw take place the other day, and like I was wondering, you know, like if it gets too obscure. Here's the thing. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. If Brent comes in with a concept for something, it might not, or I come in with a concept of something that maybe doesn't mean something to him. It doesn't mean we don't work on it. Like I still work on it. Like if he comes in with a concept that maybe I have no attachment to whatsoever, I'm still going to sit there. I'm a lyricist, man. I'm still going to sit there and help him get through it. We're going to work it out. My attachment to it isn't going to be the same. Right. As something that, you know, if I bring something to the table that I've got a lot of attachment to, that I feel very personally about, like that song's going to mean a lot more to me. Like a song like Killing Fields means a lot to me. Right. Versus a song like Dance Kid Dance, right? Which, you know, we know what that subject matter is about. We talked about it, and it is something that I relate to, for sure. But like, I don't have the emotional pull to it. I have a lot of emotional pull to 365. And there are other songs that we've written that I have a lot of emotional pull to, and then other songs that I have zero emotional attachment to, even though I wrote them. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting how that works. But go ahead. Do you ever daydream when you're performing? Oh, all the time. Every. But like not in a way where it's like getting in the way of the performance and what you're trying to do. It never. Like, you're so locked in, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking something completely different. Yeah, dude. It's very. It's actually more common than not that my mind is wandering during a show. Right. Like, I have a tendency to think about other songs. This is kind of strange. Maybe it's not. I think about other songs while I'm playing the current song. Like if there's a song coming up that like I'm unsure. Look, we all have these things that like we screw up every night, you know, or like the part that I forgot. It's like I'll be thinking about a song, kind of like, fuck, I forget how to play that part. Is it like this or is it like this? I'm playing, like maybe I'm playing piano, maybe I'm playing Call Me. Yeah. But I'm thinking about the bass part for another song we're about to play that I can't remember how it goes. Or I'm playing acoustic guitar, but I'm thinking about the piano part from something else that I'm worried about screwing up. Right. Or sometimes I'll be playing, like if it's a song that I played 1,000,000,001 times on piano, like I'll Follow You. Like I can play that blindfolded with my eyes closed backwards. I've caught myself playing that song, even during the intro when it's just piano and vocal, but I'm literally thinking about a song that I'm writing. And I'm like, it's interesting. I can be humming another melody, thinking about another song, trying to work out. I was trying to work out a melodic thing one time in another song while I was playing. I caught myself doing it. It wasn't like I was intentionally doing it. Right. I just wandered off into It's the ADD thing, man. I just wandered off into this other song, and I'm thinking about the melody and the structure, and like, and then I kind of had to pull myself back. Like, shit, dude, you're playing this other song right now, like in front of a bunch of people, in front of 20,000 people. You might want to come back here for a second, yeah. But here's the thing, man. It's like, for as in tune as I am with that kind of thing, those things that are muscle memory like that, if you glitch, or if I glitch and like forget it for half a second, it really goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a song like Call Me. I played that song
billions of times.
Thousands of times anyway. And if that's one of those songs that if my brain glitches and like I forget for half a second where I am, I'm like, it's so muscle memory that I've stopped thinking about what the notes are. I've stopped thinking about what the chords are called. Like, they're just patterns now.
Yep.
If I lose that pattern, if I drop a chord in the middle of that pattern, I'll freak out for a second internally. Like my whole fucking nervous system will glitch. I'm like, okay, how do I? And then I've come to learn that like the last chord is an A major of the pattern. So if I can get back to the A major, okay, now I got it back. But I have to wait for that to come around. If that's like, I can't just drop back into the thing that I forgot. It's kind of ridiculous, but dude, I daydream and wander all. I think about dinner. I think about what I'm having for dinner. I think about
how the dogs are.
How the dogs are.
How's your family?
Yeah, I think about my wife an awful lot on stage.
How often, when you're working out, is that the same kind of thing, or are you?
When I'm working out, I'm wrestling demons, man. That's what I'm doing every single time I'm working out. I'm. That's the fucking yard, man. It's like I don't listen to music anymore when I work out. It's dead quiet. Like, if I'm running, I don't listen to music. If I'm working out, I don't listen to music. It is a time to work out, to wrestle with myself. That's what it is. It's I don't want anything to and yes, it's a bit sadistic in a way. It's a bit not sadistic, I guess, but because I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I guess maybe it is sadistic. I don't know, but it's I've got all these insecurities, and I've got all these problems, and I've got all these things that I wish were different, and I've got all this depression, and I've got all this anxiety, and things that I wish would change and go away. And that's my time to face it down, because the thing is I hate working out. Like, I hate being in there. Like, I wish I didn't have to. But I enjoy the benefit that I get from it.
Well, yeah.
So it's pushing through doing the workout. It's also pushing through, like I have fictional conversations in my head with people that I'm trying to work problems out with. How would this go? How could I say this? How could I, conversations with myself, conversations with my dead father, conversations with, but usually it's me cursing at myself. Come on, motherfucker, get through this. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like just, you suck today. What's wrong?
Yeah.
And I'm very rarely proud of myself at the end of a workout. I'm proud that I did it. I'm proud when I get through it. I'll lay out challenges for myself in a workout. Like, I'll start a workout one way, and then in my brain, I'll be like, you're going to do 5 sets of this. And once I say that to myself, I can't not do it.
Correct.
I can't not do it. And I don't do it on purpose. Like, I don't ever go in there purposely like, okay, I'm doing blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If I go in there with an attitude like, I'm going to fucking crush this, it's all going to go sideways.
Probably not going to be
all going to go sideways, yeah. It's like, I'll be in the workout, and then it's like, oh, we're adding this exercise today. This one that you really hate, that you fucking don't want to do, we're doing it today. Yeah. And you're doing 5 sets and not 3. And just because we're going to punish you today, and it's like, fuck, man. And then I can't not do the thing. But I get through the workout, and I'm proud of myself. But yeah, workouts are just, they're necessary. It's just a cacophony of voices and sounds and all sorts of things going on in my brain during a workout, man. Some days I'm sad. Some days I have to I have to like fight off crying.
Yeah.
You know, that's an interesting thing. Like, if I'm being super personal, I haven't cried in years, and I'll feel myself getting to the edge of it, man. Like in a workout, and I'll just suppress it, dude. Just push it back. Like, nope, we're not doing this today. You know, and that's probably not healthy. But I do that. I do that in the workout. Like I you know, if I feel myself starting to get emo in that way, like not just in a workout, just in every day. Like if I feel myself starting to get emotional, man, I will crush it. I will crush it, and whatever, like with whatever strength I have, I will grab whatever that emotion is and squash it. Like, we are not doing sad. Yeah. Which I'm sure is going to manifest itself in some horrible way one day.
Yeah.
You know, but
we just break down.
Yeah, probably, and it'll probably be the worst possible time. Like, I'm notorious for that, man. Like, I've had a couple of really embarrassing moments. One in particular that I think about, where because I've just always suppressed things. I don't ever want to, I don't ever want anybody to see me upset, or I always have to be stoic. I don't laugh a lot. I don't cry a lot. But I've had one moment in particular that I remember. I was producing a band, and I had all this stress building up and all this emotion, and it all came out in this vocal session I was doing with this cat, man. And like, I didn't snap, like, nothing violent or anything, but like, I had a moment, man, where like I broke down, and like, this dude is like, what the fuck is happening right now? It was really embarrassing for me, actually, but I couldn't help it. It was just, so I'm sure that, because dude, I mean, I've had all those family members I've lost, all of the friends that I've lost recently, all of the emotion of making records, and we've talked about kind of how that can be soul crushing in a lot of ways. Yeah, it can be exhilarating too. But I've just taken all of that and packaged it up somewhere. Yeah. It's in here somewhere, and it's probably not going to. It's probably not going to manifest itself in a non-embarrassing way whenever the time comes. Yeah. I get worried that I get really worried that like I'll say something I don't mean to somebody or something, in those moments, and but we got a song on the new record that's kind of about that. Yeah, it's super super heady, and it's one of my favorite songs we've ever done, because it's not a traditional Shinedown song where it doesn't have this big grand chorus. Right. It just kind of works from one end to the other in a really beautiful way. But the lyrics are very much about, wrangling this, whatever this thing is, and all the bottled up emotions and everything. It's interesting. Yeah. But,
so the whole crying thing, like especially when stuff going through my dad and his health and stuff, and the hospitals, rehabs the last year, and my mom gets super emotional because she burdens all the weight of that. Yeah, I'm on the road. I've never home. My other sisters don't live in the same area, so like when I'm home, my mind is like hyper focused to that. And the first time I cried, so when my mom cries, I don't cry. Mm-hmm. So we're in rehab recently, and my dad's a fighter, and it's the first time he said, I don't want a DNR. I'm tired. I just want to go. Yeah. And I had to step out of the room because when my dad cries, I cry. Because I'm raised like super stoic, right? Like my dad would never complain. But hear him say that for the first time, I'm like, fuck. Like, this is my guy. Yeah. And he's tired. And so it's just one of those things where, like, that's the only time I get super emotional is when I see him emotional. And he's frustrated because he wants to get out of bed and walk. He can't. Yeah. And so that was that moment a couple weeks ago between the breaks. I'm just like, God damn it. But everything kind of catches up there, too. So you're just like... And then the next day, he's in bed at Mook's. My nieces are there. And he's like, I gotta get home. I gotta... But we know, it's like, as you get older and your body breaks down, he's been since brain areas with coma, strokes, TIAs, Lyme disease, all this stuff. It's like, you can visually see it's getting to the point now where he can't keep fighting.
Yeah.
And hearing him admit that, like, just broke me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't imagine. I guess I can imagine that, but, it's, yeah, if I think about it, man, what you're saying, like when I think about my dad and everything he went through, those are the moments that do make me super sad and make me emotional for sure.
Yeah. Like your dad never complained either. Like he just on his shield or with his shield or on it, right? So it's like, when you see that little set of people react in a way that makes you sad, you're like, oh man.
One thing that helped me with that, man, was the fact that not that I think that all of us would be that way. You and I would be that way.
Yeah.
Right. It would just be, I guess maybe that's what makes it more emotional though. Like it's seeing your dad as a human being.
Right.
Whereas you never saw him as a human being. For me, that's what it was.
So they couldn't be beaten.
Yeah, it was like I never, my dad was just dad, and it was like it was all the protection and all of the my dad was super stoic, you know, didn't show a lot of emotion. Dad was sort of this otherworldly being, and then you watch them physically become a human being. Mentally, they're still the same person, but I think about the fact that I think what makes that even hit more close to home is the fact that, okay, and I've talked to you about this, like watching my dad, and it's something, here's a great reason why I work out with music, is because this reality came to me in a workout. I was in a run and I wasn't listening to music, and I think about these things. This is when my dad was still sick. And I was running. I was like just asking God, why is this affecting me so much? And I know what the answer is, but you're just searching for something. And I got the answer that it's because you're watching your own death.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! My dad and I are so similar, and you and your dad are so similar that it's like you feel everything that they're going through because it's you.
Correct.
And you love this person too. I'm not trying to say it's not a narcissistic thing. It's just like, I know, even though I don't know how he feels, I know how he feels. I know how I would feel in that situation. And, and then when you've got someone that's this heroic type that has always seemed to be able to push through everything and get through everything. And then you watch them leave their house for the last time, with EMTs, it's like,
you also get put in a position where you never know what day is coming when you become the patriarch, or you become your mom's basic husband. Yeah. In a way, or you become the. Yeah, I've not. That transition of
I wish I could have, and that's something I talked to another friend of mine the other day, because his dad's facing down, same type of thing. And I was on the phone with him, and he was asking me advice or something, and I said the one thing that I was not prepared for. Two things I was not prepared for. The first thing was becoming the patriarch of the family, whether I wanted to or not.
Correct.
And I have brothers-in-law who are way more capable than I am of that job. But just because of, my sisters will ask me questions, and I feel this sense of responsibility. The thing is, man, is I have not, and my mother, I have not dealt with it with the best grace. In fact, I've been sort of an asshole about it at times, where it's like, why is everybody wanting to talk to me about this stuff? And I have a tendency to get really angry really fast about these things, about anything pertaining to that part of the job. And there's probably some deep psychological shit with that, where it's like, I don't want this job.
Right.
But guess what? You've got it. You become the patriarch of the family. I'm the only boy. I'm the oldest kid. I'm the only son. And my mom does look to me now in that way, and my sisters in certain. I know they all have their own husbands and everything, but there is a way that they look to me for things like that, and I haven't been the best with it. I haven't dealt with it very well in certain instances. The other thing is this feeling of just being the one I really didn't expect, and I didn't know how to unpack, and I still don't know how to unpack it really, is this this sense of being lost. Like I haven't lived in my dad's house since I was, in my early 20s, I think, was the last time I lived in the house. I didn't talk to my dad every day. I talked to my dad every, 2, 3, 4 times a month, probably. I talk to my mom more than my dad.
Right.
But, when that person is gone, and it didn't happen instantaneously, it happened, I kind of felt it sort of happen. It was almost like I was this balloon that was, all of a sudden I started to float away from everything. Mm-hmm. And I became completely lost. Now, there were a lot of other deaths too that could have contributed to that, but Ed Baker is the one that gave it a definition for me. And I was talking to him about this. I was like, man, I just feel like I'm just floating around. I don't even he goes, you're untethered. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm untethered. There was this string that was holding me,
right.
My 2 parents maybe, or my dad in a special way that was keeping me grounded that I didn't know. And you talk about energy and spirits, and like I was attached to him here. And when his spirit moves on to somewhere else, I just started to float away. And it's taken me 2 years. I feel like I'm just now able to gather myself, but look, man, I love, don't take this the wrong way, but I love watching you have an emotional reaction to your dad.
Yeah.
It makes me feel.
That's not about story. I love just being at home. I like you, I don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets in the way of relationships with friends. Obviously, my best friends are my best friend. They know the situation. Right. But sometimes when I'm in relationships where it's can you come down and see me? It's I want to, but part of me is God, so my dad falls, or my mom needs me. My loyalty, this is going to sound terrible, comes first to my family.
Correct.
And sometimes I've been in relationships where people don't understand that. It's I've been with this person for 8 years, and they're go get, cheat on me or whatever that's, he's not around. Yeah. I'm around, but I physically feel obligated to be there for my family.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, is this is not me giving you relationship advice, but when you find the right person,
correct,
they will understand and honor that.
Correct.
That's a trait that any woman would seeks out, in someone.
Right.
So you're on the right path with that for sure. But but dude, just seeing you get emotional just now, it's man, I want that. I long for that.
Yeah. But then out here too, I know we've talked about this where some of these cool people have these my day sucks, or it's so tough. It's dude, my dad could do your job at this fucking hospital. Man.
Yeah. Dude, Brent and I had the same. Brent and I will talk on one of our rituals out here is that the day off, we'll get up. Usually he and I are the last 2 up, and then we'll sit on the bus and talk for 4 hours. Yeah. Just like you and I are talking right now.
Yeah.
Without a podcast. And we were doing that yesterday. He had to take Lyric to the airport, and I had gone down there for something. I forget what I went down for, but we ended up sitting on the bus talking about how we were going to strangle everybody on our bus. That's how we started the conversation. I'm going to kill everybody on this bus. But there's a guy that I follow, man, and on Instagram, and he's in the military, and he's got quite a. Some people might know who this is, and I don't remember his name on there. Or I'd give him a shout out, but he. And I've never researched what happened, but at some point he was burned in a fire really severely.
Yeah.
And his whole face was basically burned off. And it's interesting to go on his Instagram. You can go back to pictures before that happened.
Yeah.
He's this handsome dude, man.
Yeah.
But this guy faces every day of his journey back publicly. So he's not hiding his face. It's horrific.
Yeah.
What's happened to this guy? but every day with faith and with love for God and appreciation for being alive. And he's doing all these reconstructive. In fact, today he's having his second reconstructive surgery. Dude, I'd say I don't get emotional. I'm not crying, but I feel myself up talking about it, man. It's like he it's a reminder for me because every day he's posting. Every day he's posting about,
If he could just be the most.
Well, I think the one that got me more than anything was when he was, he had his first reconstruction, and they had to pull skin from other parts of his body and muscle and attach it to his face, and so he just, it looked odd, and it was during that time period, and he did a reel where he's like, hey everybody, I was having a day today where I was feeling sorry for myself and wondering, asking God why me and why this is happening. And he's like, then I turned it around, He's like, I know God has a plan for me. I know there's a purpose for all of this. And, as he's saying that, I'm thinking like, I know what your purpose is because you're making me feel like you're reaching me right now. Even if and I know you're reaching others, but like, hypothetically, just say I was the only one you're reaching. Like your purpose is you're helping me not just see it, like to be more grateful than I am, because like, dude, I bitch about shit just like everybody else. Yeah. Right. So I started always saying I'm gonna strangle everybody on my bus. Yeah. Like we have these everyday problems, man, that like we build up into some grand issue that it's not. And here's this gentleman who is facing life every day in a like unimaginable way. Like I can't imagine that. I hope I never have to imagine that, or I never have to go through that, or any of my family or friends ever have to go through it. But be a faith-filled man, a warrior for God, like a warrior for him and his family, like just being. That's bravery. When people talk about bravery, that's brave. And it causes me to go, you know what? I'm a fucking shithead. Stop being like this. Stop complaining about anything. Like that guy's showing you how to live. Right. That's what his purpose is probably now in the world, is to show people how to live. Yeah. And if not, I'm sure he has a greater purpose beyond that. But right now, that's what his purpose is. And, it just really makes me realize how unbelievably blessed, and that's a word that gets overused on the internet nowadays, but I mean it, like how unbelievably blessed I am and how grateful I am for my life and for the people around me. My wife, dude, I'm so like just beyond, beyond, I don't really know what I did to deserve any of this, but I've got to get better about that, man. Like, it's so easy to just fall into pity party, man. Can't do it. Yeah. I don't know if I made a point or not with that, but we were talking about something that reminded me of that gentleman. But I feel like, man, I should reach out to him, man. Just be like, hey, dude, like, just so you know. Yeah. Your purpose is real. And I know he knows that. I know he knows that. He talks about it. He doesn't need me to tell him that. No. But it I think he should know. That it goes back to what we've talked about to bring this around full circle about our fathers. And about like, why is my dad going through this? Yeah. Why is he suffering this way? Or seeming to suffer. What
lesson are you teaching the family to see him go through this?
Right. And you're correct. And, like I had to try to parse out why this horrible thing had happened to my dad. This man who like was completely healthy his whole life and kept himself in shape. I mean, my dad was 84 years old when he got sick, 85 when he died. But before if we weren't for this brain tumor, he had the body of like a 65-year-old. Right. And he was in active health, like drove, like you'd never know he was in his 80s, ever. Like he looked like he was maybe in his early 70s. Yeah. you know? And so like, why does this happen, you know? And I've said it on here. It's like, I feel like, and I don't mean to be selfish about it, but it's just me looking at it this way. It's like, you know, it was his final thing for his kids to become who they need to be.
Right. The metamorphosis of.
Yeah, and I think that's life. That's how it's supposed to be. Your dad's doing the same thing for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, there are no man, this is a thing about what I'm going to say. I can say there are no gifts without suffering, but you know what they say: no deed goes unpunished. No good deed goes unpunished. Right? Like, if you're going to give something wholly of yourself, you're going to take. There's a giant chunk of you that is going to go with that thing. It's going to go away. And you know, for my dad, I think that he wouldn't. I don't think he would have chosen what happened. You know, but
of course,
but it was chosen for him, and because of that, a huge piece of him left. Physically and emotionally, but it didn't just disappear into nothingness. It ended up in his children and in his wife and in his family. And I took a huge piece of that with me and have you know tried to you know, mold myself into a better person with it. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, and you're doing the same thing. You know, you're taking these lessons, and I mean, there's so much value. It's expensive. What's happening to your dad? It's expensive. It's expensive for everyone emotionally. It's expensive for him.
Yeah. But
the value of that expensive thing is so much greater than the expense, and it's not something you want, but it's something you're receiving,
right?
Whether you want it or not. And you know, you're honoring that gift by being there for your family and being there for your dad. And you know, when the day does come that he is gone, the true value of it will come to life, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. So I guess I'd be through to Express now. And
let's go to the Mall of America.
Let's go to the Mall of America.
Let's go ride a SpongeBob roller coaster.
Yeah, we're going to play around the miniature golf.
What's that? It's a Ninja Turtles roller coaster.
Yep.
I've never even walked into that amusement park in there. I was just walk around the outside.
I've always done miniature golf. I mean, I've always joked about doing the Lego World area roller coaster, but just.
I did find out there's a Hooters up there yesterday. I didn't go.
Oh, really?
I just saw a sign for it. I didn't know there was a Hooters in all of America.
The guys are waiters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, man. I guess this was a good episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Mall of America episode.
Mall of America.
Which number is this? Which number?
This is going to be 47, I think.
47?
Yeah.
Sorry it's been so long, everyone. We've been busy.
Yes.
All right.